Hello students, a very happy morning. In today's class, let us complete exercise 3.5, but this exercise comes under the topic cross multiplication method. As I told you, this method has been deleted or omitted from your 2020 syllabus. So we are going to solve these problems based on substitution or elimination method, as cross multiplication method is one of the method to solve your problems algebraically. We can solve those problems based on substitution or elimination method as well, right? So that's what we are going to do in this exercise. At the end of this session, I'll just explain you what is meant by cross multiplication method, because you should know, even though it is omitted from your syllabus, knowledge wise you should know what the method is all about, right? So first we will complete exercise 3.5 by substitution or elimination method. So let us move on to the first question. Which of the following pairs of linear equation has unique solution, no solution, infinitely many solutions? In case there is a unique solution, find it by using cross multiplication method. Here they have mentioned cross multiplication method. You can do by substitution or elimination method. So what is the question is all about? Find which pair of equations has unique solution, no solution, or infinitely many solution. Without solving, how will you find out it has a unique solution, or it doesn't have any solution, or it has infinitely many solution? We have learnt comparing the coefficients, comparing the ratios of the coefficients of two equations. We can identify which pair of equations have unique solution, which has infinitely many solution, which doesn't have any solution, right? So let us recall that first, and then we can solve these problems. Hope you remember this table. A1x plus b1y plus c1 equal to 0, a2x plus b2y plus c2 equal to 0 are the two equations, pair of linear equations. Then if a1 by a2 is not equal to b1 by b2, if the coefficients are completely different, then they are intersecting lines and they have exactly one solution. If all the three ratios are equal, then they are coincident lines and they have infinitely many solutions. If the coefficients of x and y are equal but constant alone different, then they are parallel lines and they doesn't have any solution. You should remember this, you should not forget, right? I told you first go for the checking of the coefficients of x and y, a1, b1, a2, b2. If they are not equal, they will have unique solution. If they are equal, then check for the constant. If the constant is also equal, they are coincident lines, all are equal. If the constant is different, then they are parallel lines, they don't have any solution, right? Now let us move on to the exercise. See the first question, x minus 3y. First question, x minus 3y minus 3 equal to 0, 3x minus 9y minus 2 equal to 0, right? First list out the coefficients, and you have to be very careful. I told you already, when you are writing the constant, you keep both the equations constants either to the right hand side or to the left hand side. That you have to check. If in one equation it is to the right hand side and if in another equation it is to the left hand side, the sign will vary. The sign will vary. So better keep both on the left hand side or both on the right hand side. First step you have to check that. Right, now here both are on the left hand side only. So you can proceed. A1 equal to, what is the coefficient of x in the first equation? 1. And b1 is coefficient of y. Along with the sign only you should take. Keep remember. So minus 3, constant is minus 3. Similarly, from the second equation, a2 is 3, b2 is minus 9, c2 is minus 2. Now find the ratios a1 by a2, b1 by b2, c1 by c2. 1 by 3, minus 3 by minus 9, minus 3 by minus 2. And also you should not compare the ratios as such. Simplify it at most. Till what you can simplify it and then compare. So if I simplify minus 3 and minus 9, minus minus will get cancelled. So 3 and 9, if you simplify, you will get 1 by 3. Right, here minus minus is getting cancelled, you get to 3 by 2. Now if you see a1 by a2 is same as b1 by b2. So which is a1 and a2 are same, right? I told you when a1 by a2 and b1 by b2 are equal, then move on to the third ratio and check whether c1 by c2 are equal or not, but they are not equal. So these two are equal and this is not equal, therefore they are parallel lines. If they are parallel lines, they have no solution, right? They are parallel lines and thus they have no solution, right? Hope you understood. Similarly, you can solve the remaining subdivisions of this exercise and it is very clearly given in case there is a unique solution. Only if there is a unique solution, they asked you to find that using cross multiplication method or any of the algebraic methods of solving. So I am leaving the remaining problems to you. You can easily find out by comparing the coefficients. Let us move on to the second question. For which values of a and b does the following pairs of linear equations have infinite number of solutions? They have given you some unknown values in a pair of equation. They asked you to find for which values of a and b these pair of equations have infinitely many solutions. For two lines to have infinitely many solutions, what is the condition? They should be what sort of lines? They should be coincident lines. So when two lines will be coincident if all the ratios are equal. a1 by a2, b1 by b2, c1 by c2. All the three ratios should be equal. So using this clue only we are going to solve for a and b in this problem. Now let us see how we can solve this. So infinite number of solutions means coincident lines, which means all the three ratios should be equal. So take the first and the second equation. Now we will substitute these values in this and we will find out for a and b. So what is a1? Coefficient of x in the first equation, which is 2. What is a2? Coefficient of x in the second equation, which is a minus b. Then what is coefficient of y in first equation? 3. Coefficient of y in the second equation is a plus b. And you should check both the equation, the constants are on the right hand side only. So directly you can take 7 divided by the entire constant 3a plus b minus 2. Alright. Now take any of these two and cross multiply it. You can take 1 and 2 or 1 and 3 or 2 and 3. Any two you can take because all are equal. Only if they are equal, they will have infinitely many solutions. Now here I have taken first and the second. So cross multiply it. What will happen? 2 into a plus b. You have to multiply entirely with 2. So put brackets. 2 into a plus b, which is equals to 3 into a minus b. So what will happen? 2 into a, 2 into b. 2a plus 2b, which is equals to 3a into 3b. Minus sign we have. Then bring like terms to one side. 2a minus 3a equal to minus 3b minus 2b. So minus a equal to minus 5b, minus minus will get cancelled. So we got a equal to 5b, right? Again we got a in terms of b only. So we didn't get the ready-made answer here. So what you should do? You equate any of the other two things and try to find b value, right? Now what I have done is I have equated these two. Again it is not necessary you should do these two. You can go with 1 and 3 also. So what will happen here? See, I am going to cross multiply it in the same way. 3 into this and 7 into this. So 3 into 3a plus b minus 2, which is equals to 7 into a plus b. Kindly don't forget to put your brackets. If you forget, then the entire problem will go wrong and you will multiply this only with the first term. You will forget to multiply with the remaining terms. Now keep multiplying term by term. 3 into 3, 9a plus 3 into b, 3b, plus into minus is minus, 3 2s are 6, which is equals to 7 into a plus 7 into b, right? Then bring like terms to one side. If I bring 7a to other side, it will become minus 7a, 3b to this side, it will become minus 3b, minus 6 to this side, it will become plus 6. So 9 minus 7 is 2. So 2a is equals to 4b plus 6. I am dividing throughout by 2 because it has a common factor. So dividing by 2, you will get a is equals to 2b plus 3. Right? I named this as third equation and this is fourth equation. Now what are we going to do? You can substitute. You can solve 3 and 4 to get the values of a and b. Again, you can solve it in any of the two methods, substitution method or elimination method, right? How will you eliminate? By making this as an equation, a minus 5b is equal to 0. But here I solved it by substitution method. Here we got the value of a as 5b. So in this equation, in the place of a, substitute 5b. Now we got an equation entirely in the variable b. Now solve for b. Bring 2b to the other side. So we got the value of b as 1. After getting the value of b, substitute in any of these two equations to get the value of a. I substituted in third equation. So a is equals to 5 into 1, which is 5, because a is equals to 5b. In the place of b, I have substituted the value of b. Thus we arrived at the values of a and b. Hence, for a equal to 5, b equal to 1 only, the given pair of linear equations will have infinitely many solutions. So this how only you have to solve such a kind of problems. First, remember the table. That is very, very important. What sort of solution they need and immediately what condition it should satisfy, it should strike your mind. So state that condition, substitute the values and find out the answer, right? Hope you understood. Let us move on to the next question. Now let us see the next problem. For which value of k will the following pair of linear equations have no solution? When a pair of linear equations have no solution, when the two lines are parallel. When the two lines will become parallel, if the coefficients of x and y are same and the constants are different, right? Which means a1 by a2 is same as b1 by b2, but it is not equal to c1 by c2. So using that relation, we should find the value for k, right? Let us see how we can solve this. See, a1 by a2 is equals to b1 by b2, which is not equal to c1 by c2. Now write both the equations. 3x plus y equals to 1 and 2k minus 1 into x plus k minus 1 into y equals to 2k plus 1, right? Now substitute here. a1 is coefficient of x, 3 divided by here 2k minus 1, which is equals to 1 divided by here k minus 1, which is not equal to 1 divided by 2k plus 1. See, here 1 is also towards right hand side, here 2k plus 1 is also towards right hand side. So take the values as such. I am repeating this again and again. So kindly check the constant values where it lies in the equation. If one is on the opposite side of the other, the sign will differ. Kindly check it, right? Now what shall we do? This is not equal to, right? So these two are equal. So cross multiply these two. What will happen? 3 into k minus 1 equals to 1 into 2k minus 1. So 3k minus 3 equals to 2k minus 1. If we solve, we got what is the value of k. The value of k is 2. So we arrived at the value of k. You don't want to bother about these two because they are not equal. We are not bothered about the k value of k which should not be, right? They asked for what value of k, they have infinite, they don't have any solution, right? So for the value of k, when it takes two, the pair of given equations have no solution. So you can stop with this, you don't want to bother about these two. So you can write for k equal to 2, they have no solution, right? In the previous problem also, why we did two steps? Because we didn't arrive the answer in the first step itself. We arrived the value of a in terms of b because it involved two variables. Here it involving only one variable k. So we arrived it in the first step itself, right? See the next question. Solve the following pair of linear equations by the substitution and cross multiplication method. So whatever method you adopt, the answers should be same. If you get different answers in applying in two different methods, then the procedure what you did is wrong. So here you can go with substitution method, leaving cross multiplication method. Hope you can solve it. It's very easy problem. Next question, form the pair of linear equations in the following problems and find their solutions if they exist by any algebraic method. So as usual, they have given you some situations. We have to frame our equation and then we have to solve. So let us see the first question. A part of monthly hostel charges is fixed and the remaining depends on the number of days one has taken food in the mess. When a student A takes food for 20 days, she has to pay rupees 1000 as a hostel charges, whereas a student B who takes food for 26 days pays rupees 1180 as hostel charges. Find the fixed charges and the cost of food per day. We have solved a problem of this kind in both the exercises, substitution and elimination. Hope you remember. We will have some fixed taxi charges, and for the remaining every kilometer they have been charged. Like that we have solved, right? Hope you remember. So the same way you can frame your equation. As I told you, take your assumption from the question. So let the fixed charge be rupees X and the cost of food per day be rupees Y. Then how you will frame your equation? X plus, for 20 days, X is fixed charge. Then for 20 days she has to pay some amount for each day. So X plus 20Y equal to rupees 1000. Similarly for student B, X plus 26Y equals to rupees 1180. So we got two equations. Solve these two equations by any of your own algebraic method, either substitution or elimination, and find what is X and Y. In the sense, what is fixed charge and what is the cost of food per day. Right? I am not going to solve this. I am leaving it to you. Let us move on to the second question. A fraction becomes 1 by 3 when 1 is subtracted from the numerator, and it becomes 1 by 4 when 8 is added to its denominator. Find the fraction. Again, the fraction problem also we have done many. So you can do it by own. How you will assume here? Let the numerator and the denominator be X and Y respectively. Now your fraction will be X by Y. A fraction becomes 1 by 3 when 1 is subtracted from the numerator. They didn't talk about the denominator here. So X minus 1, from the numerator you have to subtract 1. X minus 1 divided by Y equals to 1 by 3 is your first equation. Then cross multiply it and get your actual equation. Then, and it becomes 1 by 4 when 8 is added to its denominator. So in the second statement they didn't speak about your numerator. So you have to take the numerator X divided by Y plus 8 equals to 1 by 4. Again cross multiply it, get your actual equation, and then solve for it by either substitution or elimination and get your answer. Right? Now let us move on to the third question. Yash scored 40 marks in a test, getting 3 marks for each right answer and losing 1 mark for each wrong answer. Had 4 marks been awarded for each correct answer and 2 marks been deducted for each incorrect answer, then Yash would have scored 50 marks. How many questions were there in the test? See, there were 40 marks in a test. Yash scored 40 marks, 3 marks for each right answer and losing 1 mark for each wrong answer. They asked you to find how many questions were there in the test. I told you, you have to take your assumption from the question. So how many questions were there? So let the number of questions be in, you cannot take for this problem, because if you take the number of questions you will get only one variable, but the problem is involved in two variables. So try to analyze it further. They told you write each right answer, each wrong answer. So take it in this way. Let each right answer or right question be right answer be X and each wrong answer be Y, right? So in that way let us take our assumption and then we will proceed our problem. Let us see how we can solve this. See, let the number of right answers and wrong answers be x and y respectively. Then, how we got the equation? See, read the question again. What is given? 3 marks for each right answer and losing 1 mark for each wrong answer. So, for each right answer they are giving 3 marks. So, 3 into x and losing 1 mark for each wrong answer. For every wrong answer they are reducing 1 mark. So, 1 mark. So, number of wrong answers is y into 1. That's why it is minus y equals to how much marks they scored? 40. So, that's why it is 3x minus y equals to 40. Right? For every right answer, we have taken number of right answers as x. So, for every right answer, they are giving 3 marks and they are deducting 1 mark for every wrong answer and deducting 1 mark. So, number of wrong answers into 1. So, 1y equals to 40. The same way, the next statement says, if they award 4 marks for each right answer and they deduct 2 marks for each wrong answer, the marks would have been 50. So, 4x minus 2y equals to 50, right? Initially, when you have framed the equation, you can check for the common factor. If they have common factor, you can divide it throughout so that your equation will get reduced. So, it will make your calculations further easy, right? So, here the entire equation has 2 as a common factor. So, I have divided by 2. So, 2x minus y equals to 25. Throughout I have divided by 2, right? If suppose you didn't notice the common factor, you kept the equation as such also, no problem. You can proceed with the problem, even then you will get a same answer, but your calculations will become bigger. That's it, right? So, after solving for x and y, now you have to choose only first and the third equation. You can solve for x and y by either substitution or elimination method. But after finding the value of x and y, the question is how many questions were there in the test. They didn't ask how many right answer and how many wrong answer. How many right questions. See, from the answers you can find how many questions. Here we have taken an assumption that the student doesn't leave any question. All the questions have been attempted. Either it is right answer or it is wrong answer. So, if you add the number of answers, obviously you will get how many questions were there, right? So, answer to the question. If some question is asked, if you leave your answer in a halfway, you won't get your full marks. So, here the actual question is how many questions were there in the test. So, how you can find out total number of questions is you have to add x and y value. Whatever answer you are arriving at, you have to add. That only will give you the total number of questions, right? So, you have to solve this question. I have framed the equation, you have to solve it, right? Don't think why ma'am is leaving all the problems to us. Only if you practice, you will get an idea. Keep on, I am solving in a notebook and you are sitting and listening or watching like a cinema is not going to help you out at all, right? So, that's why I am leaving the problems to you. You have to sit and work out, then only you will have a practice, right? Now, let us move on to the next question. Places A and B are 100 km apart on a highway. One car starts from A and another from B at the same time. If the cars travel in the same direction at different speeds, they meet in 5 hours. If they travel towards each other, they meet in 1 hour. What are the speeds of the two cars? So, this is a problem related to speed, time and distance covered. Hope you might have learnt in physics, right? How will you find the distance covered? Speed into time will give you the distance covered, right? Speed into time will give you the distance covered. So, read the question properly. Places A and B are 100 km apart on a highway. One car starts from A, another from B at the same time. Cars travel in the same direction at different speeds. They meet in 5 hours. If they travel towards each other, they meet in 1 hour. What are the speeds of the two cars, right? Now, let us see how we can solve this. So let us assume the speed of first and the second car be x and y kilometer per hour respectively. Then this is, again you should know, this is a physics concept. So when the speed of both the cars while they are traveling in same direction, respective speeds, how will you find out? You have to subtract. If they travel in same direction, you have to subtract. If they travel in opposite direction, in the sense towards each other, you have to add. This you should remember. Okay, the speed, respective speed, how will you get it? If they travel in same direction, you have to subtract. If they travel in opposite direction, you have to add. Now we will come back to our equation, how we can frame it. We know speed into time gives you the distance. So they meet in 5 hours if they travel in the same direction. So 5 into x minus y equals to how much distance? 100 kilometer. If they travel in the opposite direction, they meet in 1 hour. So 1 into x plus y equals to 100. Right? The distance is 100 only. The distance is never going to change. The distance is same. So now find your equation by simplifying it. 5x minus 5y equals to 100. If you divide it throughout by 5, you will get x minus y equals to 20. Again, I have simplified since all the coefficients have a common factor. Similarly here, 1 into x plus y is x plus y, which is equals to 100. So we got two equations, x plus y equals to 100 and x minus y equals to 20. You can solve this by directly elimination method, because y here is negative, y here is positive with the same coefficient. So directly you can solve it and get your answer. Alright. So only thing you should remember here is this thing and this. How you can find the average or the respective speed of both the cars if they travel in same direction and in opposite direction. This you should remember. And speed into time is distance covered. Right. If you remember these two, you can easily solve this problem. Let us see the next problem. Let us see the last question of the exercise. The area of a rectangle gets reduced by 9 square units if its length is reduced by 5 units and breadth is increased by 3 units. If we increase the length by 3 units and the breadth by 2 units, the area increases by 67 square units. Find the dimensions of the rectangle. This is again a very easy problem only. So they asked you to find the dimensions. So take the dimensions as your x and y. So what are all the dimensions of the rectangle? Length and breadth. So let the length be x and the breadth be y. Now using this assumption, you can frame the equation. Right? Now let us see how we can frame it. See, let the length and breadth of rectangle be x and y units respectively. Then what is the area of rectangle formula? Length into breadth. So x into y square units. So what is the first one given here? Area gets reduced by 9 square units if length is reduced by 5, breadth is increased by 3. Right? Length is reduced by 5 and breadth is increased by 3. So length is decreased by 5 and breadth is increased by 3. So x minus 5, y plus 3. If you do this, the area reduces by 9. What is your actual area? xy. It reduces by 9. So minus 9. Now while multiplying this, you have to be very careful. Term by term you have to do. So x into y, xy plus x into 3, 3x. Then minus 5 into y, then minus 5 into 3. Right? So xy plus 3x minus 5y minus 15 equal to xy minus 9. So this xy will get cancelled. So bring the like terms together, minus 5y, and we have only constant. Simplify it, we got the equation. Similarly, the second statement says if the length is increased by 3 and the breadth is also increased by 2, then the area increases by 67. Here both are increased. Right? So again, step by step you multiply and reduce the equation. You will get 2x plus 3y minus 61 equal to 0. Thus we obtained the two equations. You can solve by either elimination or substitution method, and you can arrive at what is x and y, which gives the length and breadth of the rectangle. Yes. So with this we completed exercise 3.5. Now, as I told you before we wind up today's class, I wish to brief you what is cross multiplication method. You should know. You don't want to apply it in finding problems. So, but you should know. Right. Now, let me tell you what is cross multiplication method. It's again an easy method only. So, we are dealing with two equations, a1x plus b1y plus c1 equal to 0, a2x plus b2y plus c2 equal to 0. Here again it is very important, the constants should be written to the left hand side of the equation, then only you won't make any mistake. So, first step you have to write in this standard form, right, then only you can proceed the problem. After writing it in standard form, you have to frame a table like this. You have to start with b1 b2, in the sense you have to start with the coefficient of y, b1 b2, then c1 c2, a1 a2, again b1 b2, right, like a cycle you have to write, but you have to start from y coefficient first, b1 b2, c1 c2, a1 a2, and again b1 b2. Now, first two rows will give you the value of x, second two rows will give you the value of y, and the last two rows will give you the value of the constant. What are we going to do? How they are going to give you the values? We are going to cross multiply it. How? Like this, b1 into c2 in b2 into c1, the same way, c1 into a2 minus c2 into a1. Actually we will subtract, right, a1 into b2 minus a2 into b1. How we can write this? You should write like this, x divided by b1 into c2 minus b2 into c1, which is equals to y divided by c1 into a2 minus c2 into a1, which is equals to 1 divided by a1 into b2 minus a2 into b1. Always this should be 1 only. Always this should be 1. Whatever constant you have, you should write 1 only here. So, after writing like this, what we will do? We will cross multiply. As we did problems, no, in the same exercise, second problem, finding the unknown values, what we did, you can take any two relation, either 1 and 2, 1 and 3, or 2 and 3. Take any two relation, cross multiply it and find the values of x and y. You will get two equation by cross multiplying. Either from 1 and 2 you will get one equation, from 2 and 3 you will get another equation, and then simplify it, you can find values for x and y. So, this is the method of solving a pair of linear equation using cross multiplication method, right. So, hope you understood. So from exercise 3.5, do these problems as homework and post your answers in the group, and if you have any doubts you can contact me. Thank you, students.